Chandler, so good to see you again. Thank you so much for coming back on the show.
It's so good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm really excited to chat with you because I feel like season twos are so interesting, specifically with Pretty Little Liars Summer School. I mean, you're back, but it's like, I feel like you didn't know what to expect with this. You know what I mean? We're going slasher at times. Like, what's going through your mind when you start getting the scripts for season two?
I mean, I think we were all just so excited at the opportunity to dive deeper into these girls' worlds and their brains. And we left them in the wake of like the reckoning of their traumas. And I think just, specifically for Tabby, really facing it head on for the first time ever. So in a lot of ways, I feel like, while that was the finale episode of season one and the end of that season for her, I think it really is just the beginning of her story. So I'm just really excited that people kind of get to get a closer look of the inner workings of her brain and her mind and what this trauma has been for her and how she continues to move through it and heal.
And it's interesting because season ones are always kind of very interesting and tricky in a lot of ways because it's like clean slate for everyone, for you and the cast, for like, you've never played these characters before. We've never seen these characters before. Do you feel like you totally understand this character ahead of season two, or do you feel like you're still learning about this character?
I mean, I think the wonderful thing about being an actor is it is constantly a process of learning, and I think that's being a human being in the world. I think if you're committed to growth and you have an openness to experience, I think you're always taking in new information and sometimes surprising yourself. And so I think I don't know if I can say that I know every part of her because I don't think that she even knows every part of her. And there's many firsts for her in this journey as she moves through season two. And I think she has no idea how she's going to navigate some of these firsts. And that's when the fun really comes in because you get to see her in a new space and in a new light.
From an acting storyteller perspective, there's so much that kind of happens before you go to camera on a project. There's all the preparation, figuring things out and everything. So in a lot of ways, a lot of people can see it as like two separate journeys from a storytelling acting perspective, right? Before filming and after filming. Do you see it as two kind of journeys, or do you see it as one big journey with multiple steps in between them?
Ooh, I think that's a cool question. I feel like it's one big journey. It's hard to separate, I think, the process before to actually, being in it, because so much of it is just kind of stepping into the shoes of the character and living in that mindset. So I think I kind of view it as one big process. I love getting the scripts and sitting down with Roberto and Lindsay, our showrunners, who are our fearless leaders, and they're so wonderful. And we're really open about being collaborative this season. And so we all had the opportunity to go into the writer's room and sit with them, and they listened to, our thoughts and opinions on where we wanted the girls to go. And, some things were taken and some things we were surprised when we showed up. And that's the fun of it, getting to work with such masterminds and all come together and really create something beautiful.
I feel like like I could see it as like one big journey, but if you look at, Pretty Little Liars, you look at like the zombies movies, I feel like it's a journey with like 1,000 steps.
Yeah, true. And like, you just never know what's coming next. I mean, I'm really grateful that, I'm in New Zealand right now filming Zombies 4.
Shout out to my guy, Milo Manheim, just very quickly. Sorry.
Love Milo. Literally my next door neighbor. I'm trying not to talk too loud because it is 4 a.m. I don't want to wake him. No, he's the best and we're having the best time. But yeah, as you said, it really is a journey. And with this too, we had no idea that we would be doing a fourth one. So you never know what's coming next.
So, okay. And I find that the timelines are different, right? Because it depends on like when you find out about the scripts for Summer School, Pretty Little Liars and everything. But like when I saw the trailer drop, because like I read a little bit about the vibe of it, right? Because I'm a big horror movie guy. Like I love it, right? I love that, right? So I got like some, intel about, the vibe of it, the kind of slasher component and everything. But then I saw like the trailer and
Yeah.
everything. And I was like losing my mind. You know what I mean? Because I was just kind of like, this is awesome. I love that. What was
Yay.
your reaction when you found out about kind of the slasher horror component for this season? I'm curious about that.
I mean, just so excited. I think, you know, obviously Pretty Little Liars is such an iconic IP and like has been around forever. And there's so many, there's been several different iterations of it. And obviously it's a franchise people love and they love it for a reason. It's, has this dark, mysterious, anonymous like killer or assailant. And then you have these five girls who are in high school just trying to be normal, just trying to live their lives and being tortured and tormented and targeted in all the craziest ways. And that's just such a fun recipe for disaster and mess, which we all love to watch. That's the most entertaining thing. And so I think with our show, making it, taking it a step further, and, obviously we have so much love for Max to give us the creative license to do that and get a bit bloodier and gorier and have some of those classic slasher sequences that we all love so much. It just gets so rich and juicy as a storyteller, but then also like as a viewer, it's just so visually satisfying, I think, to see some of these sequences play out.
Are you a big, do you like horror movies? Like, are you a fan of horror movies?
So my girl Tabby is definitely will beat me every time when it comes to horror movies. That whole thing last time? Yeah, our girl Tabitha.
Tabby.
Yes, government name Tabitha Hayworth. But I am a big fan of horror, and honestly, I had just really started watching just a couple months before
Did you see
I booked the
Thanksgiving?
role.
Did you see Milo's movie Thanksgiving?
Okay, so we talked about this. Milo and I have been waiting because we're like, we need to like sit and like watch each other's projects. And because actually, this is very sweet. This is a different side story. But last night we all got together and watched the first episode of Pretty Little Liars Summer School, which is so cool. And it's cool getting to like watch each other's work with each other.
It's like a communal thing. It's
yeah, it definitely is. And I think we all feel kind of similarly. It's hard to watch yourself. And so doing it with other people is sometimes even more mortifying, but sometimes like more fun.
Yeah.
And so we did that last night with the show, and that was really sweet. So I'm like, I need to watch Thanksgiving with you because I want to hear all the stories. I want to hear about working with Eli Roth. I want to like hear all I want the inside scoop.
So put it this way, I'll just set it up. So I'm a big horror movie guy. I watch them all. I'm a creative as well. I was just in LA and wrapped a short horror film that I wrote and produced. I watch a lot of horror movies, and we did our top 10 popternative.com list of our best 2023 horror movies. Thanksgiving was the number one movie.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna tell him if he doesn't already know.
I don't mess around with that stuff.
Okay. Well, he's told me some pretty incredible stories from that set. So I think it's just been a matter of getting to the same place at the same time. And
it's
so
cool we got together to see that episode, especially that first episode of Pretty Little Liars Summer School. Like
it was really sweet. It was really sweet.
What were the whole reactions cast like specifically like about that? Because the show's so fresh. Like, what were the? Because like I feel like the first episode really kind of like you're thrown back in, and it's like season 2. But I just love the dynamic of it, where it feels like a new beginning for a lot of those characters, if that makes sense a little bit.
No, you're so right. I think the first 10 minutes is just like a race to get through, like tying up all the loose ends from season 1 and like answering all those unknowns and those question marks. But then you get the time jump, and it feels like a new show in cool ways, visually and tonally, but still is true to what we created and what everybody I think loved so much the first time around.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of use that as our basis to build as we move through the season. So to answer your question, I think everybody really loved it. It's really cool to, being here in New Zealand, I wasn't able to be at the premiere in LA, which was really hard, but they FaceTimed me in, which is really sweet. But I just felt so grateful and loved and held by my cast here in New Zealand with the Zombies crew, and they got together. They did like a little cake. They put my face on it. We played games. It was so sweet, and it was just a really awesome experience to get to watch the episodes with other people, because that's the one thing that I love most about going to premieres. Like, you get to see the audience reaction. When they laugh, when it gets silent and you can hear a pin drop. I got to experience that last night with everyone, which is really special.
You knew what I was going to ask, because that's actually the perfect segue to my next question. That's wild to me.
Thinking ahead. We're on the same wave.
So I feel, because I do find it interesting, because, and I feel like the answer to this question is no, or you try not to, because like you want to be present as an actor and be there. But like, are you ever conscious of the audience member watching Pretty Little Liars while you're making it? Or does that kind of happen a little after you wrap?
It has to be blocked out as much as possible. Now, obviously, that's a really hard thing to do. I think especially going into a second season, because you see what everybody says, and, our fans are... That's one of my favorite things about being a part of the PLL world. The fan base, they are so committed and emotionally invested in these characters, and they comb through these episodes, and they pick up all these little baby beats and moments that while you're in it, you don't even realize, or like you don't even think, oh, this is going to be seen by someone and they're going to think, whatever about it. I'll give you an example. I think there's a really cute scene. I don't even know when it is, but in season 1, Imogen and Tabby are like talking to Tabby's mom, and we run upstairs, and I'm halfway up the stairs, and I turn around and I grab Imogen's bag, because she's like, 7 months pregnant. And I just did it. And we're like in the back of the shot. You don't really we're not even in focus, but Bailee and I love watching like fan edits and things. And so many people like loved that little moment. And so it's funny when you're there and you're doing it, you just need to be present and serve the character, and not think about what people are going to think about it. But then it's fun on the other side to see what people pick up on.
Shout out to Tabby. That's just like, it's so cool, because I don't know if you remember when we talked last time, it was the funniest thing, because I know it's Tabby, but I, for some reason, was asking you a question. I said Tabitha, and then your face for a second was just like, I haven't heard that in a while. Like, Tabby. Like, I was just like, sorry,
am I in trouble? Not the full name. Oh my gosh, Peter.
Yeah. I was like, you were like, what? I was like, because I was just looking at the character names and everything, and it was like Tabitha.
That's amazing. No, I mean, I love it. I love a good nickname. Tabby has her nickname, Mouse has her nickname. I think it's fun.
I love how you're kind of continuing the Chandler Kinney kind of like spooky season kind of worlds, right? With like Pretty Little Liars Summer School, Zombies. I love it. It's the best.
Yeah, I feel really grateful to be a part of worlds that just keep on expanding and building upon what they've made. And I could not be just more filled with gratitude. I'm like, I just hope that it keeps on going. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Absolutely. Pretty Little Liars Summer School debuted recently on Max. They're going to be able to check that out. Thank you so much for your time. It was so great catching up.
This was lovely. It was so good to see you. I'm sending all my love your way.
I appreciate that. And Instagram is the best way for people to keep up to date with everything, right? It's just your name?
Yeah. Yes, Chandler L. Kinney. There's a little L in there. It's like lowercase. Sometimes people don't see it, but it's
awesome.
In there.
Well, this has been Popturnative, youtube.com/Popturnative for previous episodes. You can catch Chandler Kinney as Tabby in Pretty Little Liars Summer School on Max. That's Chandler and PD Beats. Sign off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popturnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popturnative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.